What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today's video is going to be on the Orlando Magic, and we're going to be talking about how they have the most unique style of basketball, and we're going to jump right into the video. Now, I'm 100% sure that everybody knows that the Orlando Magic won the 2022 NBA Draft Lottery, and they were rewarded with the #1 overall pick, and they decided to go with Paolo Banchero. Now, I 100% support this choice by the Orlando Magic. They were in search of a new offensive engine, and I feel like Paolo Banchero, he was the right guy for that. And when it comes to Paolo Banchero, there is so much to love about him. Love his attitude, love his skill set, and you have to love his size. Now, Paolo Banchero, he stands at 6'10", 250 pounds, and he's the reason why I think they're going to have the most unique playing style in the NBA. Or I shouldn't just say him, but the Orlando Magic front court, because now that you inserted him into this front court, the Orlando Magic, they now have 3 guys in their front court that are 6'10" or taller, and all 3 of these guys are super skilled. So I feel like with these 3 guys in the front court, every aspect on the offensive side of the ball for the Orlando Magic is going to be very unique. And the first one we're going to start with is the pick and roll. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Everyone in the NBA runs the pick and roll, which is true, but the way that the Orlando Magic is going to run it is going to be very crazy because they have so many guys that can handle the ball in pick and roll situations. And I noticed this so much in the preseason. And one other small thing I noticed is that so many different guys bring the ball up for the Orlando Magic. I've seen Cole Anthony bring it up. I've seen Terrence Ross bring it up. I've seen Franz Wagner bring it up. And I've also seen Paolo Banchero bring it up. And all 4 of these guys right here, they have the ability to run the pick and roll. And when you have 2 guys that's 6'10", and the 2 guys I'm talking about is Banchero and Wagner that can run the pick and roll, it just causes so many mismatch problems. For example, let's just say we take a pick and roll situation between Paolo Banchero and Wendell Carter, and I just feel like, let's just say if it is a smaller guy on Banchero and then the big is on Wendell Carter, if Paolo Banchero, if he gets the switch onto the bigger defender, he's so shifty, he's so athletic, he's quick and explosive enough to blow past most bigs in the NBA. That's a mismatch that the Orlando Magic would love. And then on the flip side, you have the smaller guy switching on to Wendell Carter. And Wendell Carter is so skilled around the rim that if he gets a smaller guy on him, that's automatically barbecue chicken. So that's one example. And then we can take Paolo Banchero. He doesn't even have to be the ball handler in the pick and roll. We can take a pick and roll with Cole Anthony and Paolo Banchero. Cole Anthony is such a threat when it comes to scoring for the perimeter, that when he's in that pick and roll situation with Paolo Banchero, it's going to be a pick your poison type of situation, because when he comes across that screen, you gotta make a choice. Do you want to commit to Banchero or do you want to commit to Cole Anthony? So you can get so many easy buckets out of that. We can see a pick and roll between Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, with both of them guys being the ball handler or the roller. And it's just, when you get in the pick and roll is one of the most simple things in basketball, but when you start running it successfully, the defense start reacting in so many different ways, and now guys are getting open jump shots, guys are getting open cuts to the rim. And I just feel like the Orlando Magic, watching them in their first couple of preseason games, I feel like that's going to be a problem for teams all season long, is that they have so many different pick and roll variations that they can run, and it's going to lead to some great mismatches. So that's one thing. And another thing I've noticed from the Orlando Magic while watching them in the preseason so far is that they're going to dominate the offensive glass. And another thing that goes hand in hand with the offensive rebounding is what this front court can do down on the block in the low post. But over these first couple of preseason games, I just see the Orlando Magic, they are dominating the offensive glass. I see Franz Wagner flying in for offensive rebounds, Banchero flying in for offensive rebounds, and so is Wendell Carter. But we're going to look into their post play a little bit more more in depth, and I feel like they have two very good post players with Paolo Banchero and Wendell Carter. And this is why I feel like Paolo Banchero, I don't think he was talked about enough as a prospect, because what he is offensively is really unique. So we just talked about how he can run the pick and roll, how he can create for himself and create for others, but he can also play with his back to the basket. And me personally, I think that's the best part of his game. He is so physical down there. His footwork is amazing. He has a soft touch around the rim. He can finish with finesse. He can finish with his brute force. He's just a great post player. And with Wendell Carter, and when Wendell Carter being on the court, and Wendell Carter, he's so important for the Orlando Magic offense. His ability to stretch the floor and knock down those deep mid-range shots and hit three-point shots is going to be very important, because if he can step outside and knock down those threes, it's just going to cause another problem for defenses, because in today's NBA, there's only one guy on the court that can guard the post. So I feel like one of those guys are either going to have to be on Wendell Carter, or they're going to have to be on Paolo Banchero, and whichever one of those two guys who doesn't have the post defender on them, they're going to be able to eat on the low block all game long, because Wendell Carter, he's also a monster on that low block. I feel like that's the best part of his game as well. Amazing footwork, great strength, soft touch around the rim, and he can get up and slam it too. So I just feel like these guys are going to be able to dominate on the low block. And I feel like this offense, they also have guys who can tell everybody to just get out the way and let me go get a bucket. So with the starting five I've been seeing so far from the Orlando Magic in the preseason, it's been Cole Anthony, Terrence Ross, Banchero, Franz Wagner, and then Wendell Carter. Now I don't know if that's going to be the official starting lineup, but that's the lineup I've been seeing the most. And with this lineup right here, there's a few guys that can get the ball in isolation and they can go out and get a bucket. For starters, Cole Anthony, this is something he's been good at since he's been in the NBA. He can score from all three levels. He can knock down the three-point shot, he can get to the mid-range, and he can take contact around the rim. He's very agile and he's athletic, so he can get up and punch it. I feel like he can score in isolation confidently. And then you have Franz Wagner, who isn't all the way there yet, but so far in the preseason, I've seen him pin the ball on the ground a lot more, putting together dribble moves to free himself up to get to his spot in the mid-range or to get all the way to the rim. So that's a great sign for the Orlando Magic. And then also Paolo Banchero, and this, once again, this is why the Orlando Magic, this is why they drafted him, because he brings so much on the offensive side of the ball. He's a matchup nightmare. You get a smaller guy on him, he's going to be able to take that guy down to the block, and that's barbecue chicken. You get a bigger player on him, he's shifty enough, he has a great handle on the basketball, and he can get all the way to the rim. So right now, Paolo Banchero, he has the potential to be the ultimate offensive weapon, because he's also a playmaker. So when you have a guy that can score the ball like he can, with his size and strength, he's going to command so many double teams. So it's a plus that he's going to be able to pass the basketball. So this is why I feel like the Orlando Magic, since I've been watching them this preseason, they're going to be a very unique team, really like nothing we've never seen before, because they got about 3-4 guys that can run the pick and roll. They have the ability to dominate the offensive glass and play down in the post. And then they have some guys that can score in isolation. And what I love about this lineup is that nobody really needs to be ball dominant except for Cole Anthony. And that's okay, because he's the point guard. But all these other guys, they find ways to be effective without the basketball. Terrence Ross, he's running around being effective without the ball in his hands. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter. So this Orlando Magic, their offense is looking pretty good right now. Definitely going to be watching them this season. But that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.